elections on both the sides. So during this visit, before the visit, the two sides finalized certain programs and engagements. As far I am informed, and we are informed, all the major political programs and engagements were completed nicely, and there is no cut short of any program. It is sad that she had to return a little bit earlier because of personal reasons, but it has nothing to do with the official engagements and program as chalked out by the two sides before she left for Beijing. And this visit is neither a special visit to discuss special agenda, neither it is a particular agenda or not even a hidden agenda. It is just an ongoing routine visit to discuss on the matters of bilateral relations. It is a visit to discuss on general agenda, especially financial and commercial agenda. And on some points, conclusions were done. On some points and some cases, the discussion is still going on.
Mr. Renu, can you hear me? I think
Yes, I hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry, I lost that video for just a second, but it's back now. I can see you clearly. I can hear you clearly.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, can you confirm? I know you're being very safe because it's China and you don't want to take chances with China. I understand that. I understand that.
I'm a freedom fighter. I fought the revolution war.
No, and
soldiers.
Yeah, I understand. You're a politician, and I understand the diplomatic. There will be diplomatic repercussions of what you say. You've been a minister, but can you confirm to me, Mr. Hassanul Haq, whether Wang Yi, the foreign minister of China, met the Bangladesh Prime Minister? Can you confirm or deny that?
No, the Prime Minister did not meet her, but
yes, that's the point. He didn't meet her. Okay, I think I lost the line again there with Hassanul Haq Inu. He's a former Bangladesh information minister, a top politician in Sheikh Hasina's party. And he was live with us. Let me see if I can go back to him. But the story being that she's cut short her visit, officially, like you heard from Hassanul Haq, on record, Bangladesh is maintaining that it's because of, let's put the graphics out as well, please, so that our viewers can see what really is going on behind the scenes, the graphics of what really happened. Hassanul, okay, he's back with us. Okay, let me go back to him without wasting time. Can you hear me now, sir? Sorry, I lost your video there for a few seconds.
Yes. You are on. So perfect.
So basically, there was no meeting. There was no meeting. You've confirmed one point, that there was no meeting between Wang Yi and Sheikh Hasina. Can you also confirm, Mr. Hassanul Haq, that the promised or the expected financial assistance was 5 billion? We are told it was 5 billion. That was the package that Bangladesh was looking for.
It was a speculation. It was not a formal proposal from the Bangladesh side on $5 billion.
Okay.
So it was a hype was created in the media that Bangladesh is asking for $5 billion, but it is not such.
But
because
who gives
there are certain agendas
can I ask you? Can I ask you who gives you? What can you achieve? What can you achieve with $132 million? $130 million. What can you achieve with that? That's roughly 1 crore rupees.
Well,
1,000 crore.
Certain commercial issues, certain issues on certain projects. So it is not particularly 132 million. So it is not. We have access. We never asked a lump sum. So it is 17 issues of their instruments are signed where we discussed and put forward certain projects on which certain issues we concluded, certain issues we will decide in future. It is under discussion.
No,
so it is as our expectations were there. It is not up to the mark, but it's a good.
Yeah. Other expectations. Thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that. You said there were other expectations, but it was not up to the mark. You said it. You said it.
It's okay.
No, I understand that. The reason why I'm picking up this subject, Mr. Hassanul Haq, the reason why we're picking up the subject is because, you know, what happens usually, and we've seen it with the Maldives, we've seen it with Mauritius, we've seen it with Sri Lanka, and we are seeing it with Bangladesh, how China takes smaller countries, neighbors, for a ride right? And it's much later that countries realize. Now, coming to specifics, we are hearing about a shoddy protocol that was given. Inappropriate, rather the appropriate protocol that Sheikh Hasina, a head of state, deserves was not given. Mr. Hasanul Haq.
The protocol was proper. I don't think so. It was a shoddy protocol.
Okay. My last question to you. My last question.
Yes.
Lesser time given by Xi Jinping. We are being told that Sheikh Hasina expected a little bit of time to discuss a few issues with Xi Jinping. This is being reported everywhere, including in the Bangladesh media. I don't know why you're denying it. Anyway, you've already admitted that some expectations were there. It may not have been up to the mark.
My point is the meeting deserves that time which was necessary, that Xi Jinping and Sheikh Hasina agreed on certain matters. So meeting concluded on time. So it is nothing giving less time or much time. So it is a speculation in the media, and the hype is created in the media, nothing to do with the bilateral relations and the visit.
Okay, nice talking to you, Mr. Hasanul Haq. I mean, even though you've denied the specifics, of the protocol, you've denied the specifics of the package, you've denied that there was very little time given with Xi Jinping. You have also admitted though, there are 2 points you've admitted. There was no meeting with Wang Yi, and you say that, yeah, even if there were expectations and some were not up to the mark, it's okay. And I think that's enough. Thank you, Mr. Hasanul Haq, former Information Minister of Bangladesh, joining us live here on Republic.
Okay, thank you very much for your consumption. Let me say you that the visit is not a balancing act.
Yeah.
That's all.
Okay. Appreciate that. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for your time. Okay, let's move on now and get you the other big story that we're tracking here on Republic TV on This Is Exclusive, ladies and gentlemen. Let's shift our focus now and get you the big story that is largely gone unreported from Odisha. So the problem with governors is some governors, and not all governors, some governors feel that they are proxy chief ministers, or they feel that they have a power of a chief minister. So in Odisha, the governor is Raghubar Das. Now that is him, look at him. Raghubar Das is the governor of Odisha. So Raghubar Das's son, it appears, has assaulted a staffer inside the Raj Bhavan. A Raj Bhavan official thrashed, beaten, kicked, punched by this man, Raghubar Das's son, for, believe it or not, sending a luxury car to the railway station to pick up the Highness Governor's son. Car not given, luxury car, and he didn't just want one. Apparently he wanted 2 luxury cars. Those cars didn't go. And when this official came back home, and by the way, this officer was on duty supervising the President of India, Murmu's visit. He was looking at the arrangements there, and look at the specifics of the complaint made. Specific complaints that were a complaint that was made. I'm reading out from the complaint copy. He says that he was supervising the stay of the President, and at 11:45 p.m. at night, the governor's cook said that he wanted to meet me. That is, the governor's son wanted to meet me. He says he was shouted at in unparliamentary language. He objected to the humiliation. And when he objected to the humiliation, he was slapped by Governor Raghubar Das's son. He tried to run but was dragged back in a lift by Raghubar Das's son Lalit Kumar and his associates, reportedly, allegedly. And then when they brought him back in a lift, they threw punches on his face, kicked his body, and they kept saying, "We will kill you, nobody can save you." And all of this inside the Raj Bhavan, attacked, slapped, assaulted for simply not sending a luxury vehicle for the son of the governor. Okay, let me go across to our OTV, our colleagues in OTV who are tracking the story closely. I have Rashmi Ranjan Das, who's a senior reporter at OTV, joining us. Rashmi Ranjan ji, mera आवाज आ रही है live from Bhubaneswar? Rashmi Ranjan Das, OTV has been tracking the story closely. Rashmi ji, आवाज आ रही है? Okay, आप थोड़ा अनम्यूट कर लीजिए. आपका जो कैमरा है, आप जूम पे लाइव है, म्यूटेड है, आप अनम्यूट कर लीजिए. आवाज आ रही है अभी? आपका आवाज नहीं आ रही है, शायद आप अनम्यूट करके आप बात कीजिए, शायद आएगा आवाज. विल ट्राई दैट. But going back to the complaint, okay, I think Rashmi Ranjan is live with us. Rashmi ji, आवाज आ रही है अभी? Yeah. So why don't you tell us what happened? What is the allegation? Because there is a complaint, official complaint copy है, pictures है, जो फैमिली है, ये राजभवन स्टाफर के ऑफिशियल के, वो फैमिली भी बातचीत कर रहे हैं पब्लिक में. तो अभी तक एक्शन क्यों नहीं लिया गया है ये रघुबर दास के बेटे के ऊपर?
Have you listened me? So one thing I told you कि on that day, on 7th July, the in charge ASO Vaikuntha Pradhan, on that day the official Vaikuntha Pradhan is posted as an assistant section officer, household section of Governor Secretariat Rajbhavan. He has alleged that his son Lalit Kumar told that on that day you just send me a car to pick up me from the Puri railway station. So on that day, the ASO Vaikuntha Pradhan had told that I have no car and I am not sending you the luxurious car to you to pick up you and your 5 members of members. So on that case, after that he has come to the Puri Rajbhavan. On that day, on the night of July 7th, he punched him, assaulted the Vaikuntha Pradhan, Lalit Kumar, and with his 2 other members, they are picked him and also thrashed him. They have also beaten him. So on that case, the police he has also very next complaint in the Puri police station, but police has not received his complaint letter. So in that case, many things happens, and after that, his wife today complained in the Rajbhavan and also complained with the governor secretariat and principal secretary also, but the principal secretary has not taken any action against the accused person. Even not any action has been taken against him. So today the Congress party members, some of the youth Congress and the student Congress is also today protest gathering again in front of the governor's house in the Bhubaneswar. So nowadays the governor, as of now, the governor is also called Vaikuntha Pradhan and his wife and the secretary of the association of ASO, and told and assurance giving him all the actions will be taken within 7 days. But till now, only action has been taken against the cookers. Those on that who is present on that case, and he is also involved in this case. So what action have been taken? It has been yet to be waited that what action has been taken by the governor house. The governor Raghubar Das has given 7 days to take any disciplinary action against those are involved in this case. So now, as of now, no action has been taken against his son Lalit Kumar. And what is the role of the Lalit Kumar on that day, on that night? So the only action has been taken against the cooker, those who is involved.
Understood.
And he is
Rashmi,
presented on that case.
Thank you. That's Rashmi Ranjan Das of OTV taking us to the details. Governor's son, no action taken against him for assaulting a Rajbhavan official simply for not sending a luxury vehicle. 2 luxury vehicles were asked for is the complaint. The governor, Raghubar Das, who's been a chief minister once, so his son assaulted an official inside the Rajbhavan for simply denying luxury vehicles or not sending luxury vehicles to the railway station to pick up the governor's son. Tracking the story closely, we're not going to let go of the story here on Republic. Let's move on now. And getting you the story from Nepal now, ladies and gentlemen, where 2 buses traveling in opposite directions on a highway were washed away. Both of them fell off the highway after a landslide and were swept away in Nepal. We keep picking up more details, and in those buses, around 60 passengers, many of them Indians. We don't have an exact count of the number of Indians. Speculation that it could be upwards of 10. The body of one Indian has been found. Let's show you some of the pictures. We've accessed the pictures of some of these areas. The area where the bus capsized. Two buses were carrying about 54 to 60 passengers, and both these buses have now fallen off the river. This was in the Trishuli River following landslides. And what we also understand, if you look at this particular area, that's the highway. They are missing post the landslide in Nepal's Chitwan district. Chitwan is the district, and you can see the highway here along the Trishuli River. And the operations are now on to try and find those bodies. We've accessed a picture of the exact area where the landslide happened. It's not the picture post the landslide, but before the landslide. This is where the 60 passengers inside those two buses were traveling, the highway that you see there. And rescuers in Nepal are working overtime, about 500 rescuers working, many of them deep divers who are trying to search for the remains of those who are inside those two buses. And we hear that one of the bodies was found about 50 kilometers from the accident site. So two buses fall inside the river, are washed away. One body found 50 kilometers from the site, and it happened to be that of an Indian. Those are the visuals that came in earlier today. The two buses were carrying 54 passengers, and this is along the Narayangat Mugling Road in Chitwan district. And those are some pictures that came in from Chitwan district. Let me go across to Surendra Puyal. Surendra Puyal is a journalist live from Kathmandu, joining us on This Is Exclusive on the show. Surendra, can you hear me? Just checking the audio once before I come across.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the status, Surendra? Because we hear that there are many Indians on board, rather who were on board and who have been washed away. Do we have an exact number of how many were there, and what the status is of the rescue operation?
Initially, the number was 7. Now they're suspecting that there could be more because, as you know, India and Nepal share a very open border. Tens of thousands of Nepalese work in India. Tens of thousands of Indians work in Nepal. So Birgunj, there was a bus coming from Birgunj right across Raxaul in Bihar, and it was coming to Kathmandu. So it was one of the two buses that fell, into the river, was swept away by the landslide. And unfortunately, as of now, almost 40 hours later, we have no idea where the buses are. Neither the security forces have any idea. They've applied, deep water sensors, deep water cameras, drones, and all kinds of equipment, even huge magnets to track the buses. They have no idea. One body was found, that of Risipal Saha, an Indian national from Bihar, probably Raxaul, Motihari, Bihar area. And 2 more bodies have been found on the shore right across Narayan Ghat in Gairakot, in Chitwan. And the search efforts are continuing. The Nepali Army, Nepal Police Force, and of course the Armed Police Force, the paramilitary force, all at least 500 security forces and local volunteers are tirelessly working around the clock to find out the bodies and the buses. After this tragic incident, one of the deadliest bus accidents involving buses, again doubled up with the tragedy, extreme climate event, which involved, of course, a huge landslide early in the morning, 3 a.m. on Friday, and officials are still clueless. The nation is shocked. And unfortunately, they are Indian nationals too. So the entire district of Rautahar near India border, Bihar, is mourning. So it's been a huge tragedy. 54 people were there initially. 3 are luckily swam across the river and came to the shore, to the bank. And 48, as of now, are estimated missing. The numbers could be higher. Nobody knows.
Thank you, Surendra, for joining us on the story on This Is Exclusive on Republic TV. From what you just told me, it's it's alarming that even the buses can't be found. They don't know where the buses are. I mean, that's the impact of that river that they failed so far to even find the buses. Many Indians on board. We don't have an exact number, but upwards of 10. Thank you for joining us on This Is Exclusive. We'll be back with the headlines in just a few minutes.
Amity University, Dubai has been awarded as the best university campus in the Middle East by Forbes magazine and recognized as the best university for job placements. Jumpstart your global career in Dubai with Amity, with faculty and students from over 50 nationalities. Visit amity.edu/Dubai.
जागा माझी मी पण जागा माझी पण जागा ही असेल मला कागद 7-12 माझ्यावर आहे 7-12 माझ्या नावावर कोर्टाचं होईल मग कोर्टाचं मला आणून दाखवायचं कोर्टाचा मला अगोदर कोर्टाचं आणून दाखवायचं हा कसं काय करतात बघतोस घ्या सगळं घ्या मी पण नाही घाबरायचं कोर्टाचं आणून द्यायचं मला पण की तुम्हाला काय कोर्टाने मी कोर्टात गेलेलो आहे मी पण गेलेलो कोर्टात त्याच्यावर कोर्टात नाही मी येणार काय व्हायचं ते उद्या मी येणार हा होऊन जाऊ देत मी पण येणार मी करणार जोपर्यंत
मॅडम आपलं कायदेशीर चालू आहे मॅडम ऐका मॅडम
कायदेशीर मला कायद्याने
तुम्ही आम्हाला का त्रास देताय
मला सांगितलेलं नाही
आपण
तुम्ही करू नका म्हणून
ऐका आपण कायदेशीर करतोय ना मॅडम मॅडम
In this week's edition of Get Me Right, I bring to you a lowdown on this debate panning out across United States on illegal immigrants. The idea that they shouldn't be allowed to vote, a privilege only meant for citizens, and the ring of similarity that this has with our own debates on Rohingyas and Bangladeshi illegals. Also, is there a community in India called the Dara Hua Musalman, the scared Muslim? It's going to be very interesting. Join me on Get Me Right this weekend. Welcome to this week's edition of Get Me Right, friends. Your go-to show for the big picture of stories and events that you thought need cool, calm, deep dive, so that you get a sense of being in control because you know that you understand. This week I focus on two stories, one international and the other domestic. First one is on the strong debate around possible election rigging in the United States of America. And the second one is on the narrative of Dara Hua Musalman, the scared Muslim in India. Let's begin. The North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, marked its 75th anniversary this week, with allied leaders converging on Washington, D.C. for a review of the past and some crystal ball gazing into the future for the military bloc. A relic of the Cold War era, many within the NATO sphere wonder whether the organization is fighting for its relevance. Despite its recent expansion, some even think that it might be counterproductive for its objectives of peace and stability in Europe. If anything, Russia's war on Ukraine proves that NATO was hardly a deterrent.
In my estimation, at least, success is a strong, independent Ukraine, increasingly integrated with Euro-Atlantic institutions like the European Union, like NATO, and that is able to stand on its own feet.
In fact, the reason why Ukraine is not getting elevated as a full-time member of the military alliance is the very clause which keeps NATO together. Article 5, which enshrines the basic principle that an attack on one is an attack on all. The moment Ukraine becomes a NATO member, Article 5 kicks in, and we straight head into World War III. Nobody clearly has the stomach for that. So we would rather see more and more military capacity being given to Ukraine and watch them fight till the last Ukrainian is standing. And with the prospects of a Trump presidency later this year, the resolve to bloody Putin's face may go down even further. But my focus this week is not NATO. There's enough on it available already, and it's distant unless the World War III starts. I would instead bring to you another interesting story coming out of the United States this week. Uncle Sam was embroiled in an intense debate on voter fraud, ballot stuffing, illegal aliens, election rigging. Isn't that huge? We're not talking about Purulia but Philadelphia, not Midnapur but Minnesota. White House announced Monday that it opposes a Republican bill in the Congress that requires proof of American citizenship if one has to vote in the upcoming presidential elections, called the Safeguard American Voter Eligibility Act, or the SAVE Act. The bill provides for a citizen to show birth certificate or passport before registering in the voter rolls. While the Republicans thought they were only stopping non-citizens from voting, Democrats saw in it an attack on their natural voter base, the immigrants, who might struggle with those documents. Sounds familiar with our own Bangladeshi and Rohingya debate? I'll come to that in a bit. Let me explain the SAVE Act in some detail first. Piloted by Republican Congressman Chip Roy of Texas, the bill raises a basic question. Should non-citizens be allowed to elect the President of the United States of America? As the law stands today, aliens cannot vote in federal elections. It's a crime punishable with prison or deportation if caught. Then what's the fuss about? Well, the decision as to who is a citizen or an alien rests with the federal government. It prohibits states from checking citizenship status, even in the case of a doubt. SAVE Act says that the states should be able to check the citizenship status of voters and revise the electoral rolls accordingly. Within the framework of American federalism, one would say, this sounds like a kosher ask. Fox News showed a Pew Research poll according to which 81% of Americans want proof of identity before voting. Only that in the kind of fractured polity that the United States has become, we are hearing only partisan interpretations. First reaction is Fox is right-wing. Republicans, backing the law, are calling out Democrats for using illegals as vote bank. Some have gone to the extent of suggesting that the Social Security numbers are created just so that the Democrat Party workers can stuff ballot boxes themselves without the aliens needing to even vote. If true, this can have consequences for the mandate in swing states.
Very important reason, as you all know, because there is currently an unprecedented and a clear and present danger to the integrity of our election system. And that is the threat of non-citizens and illegal aliens voting in our elections.
Democrats see in this a clear pre-election attempt by the Republicans to limit their natural constituency, the immigrants, from voting by creating layers of hurdles. Some extreme left elements who believe there should be no limits to immigration on the grounds of human rights see an attack on the democratic roots of the United States by far right.
They admitted that they had no evidence of non-citizen voting in our elections. The same rhetoric that nearly broke our nation 4 years ago.
If you look at the right, the likes of Joe Rogan, for example, calls it an out-and-out game of importing Democratic voters. Listen into this clip endorsed by Elon Musk by way of a repost.
Giving people aid and giving people housing, that you're essentially guaranteeing that if you can rig it so that those people are allowed to vote, those people are going to vote Democratic.
Procedurally, while the bill cleared the Congress on July 10, as Republicans have a majority in the House, it would founder in the Democrat majority Senate. And then obviously with the White House statement, it's a given that the law would be vetoed if that stage is ever reached. Aren't we familiar with this issue in India? The subject of Rohingyas and Bangladeshi illegal migrants keeps rocking public debate off and on. Various estimates have put the figure of illegal immigrants, predominantly Bangladeshis in India, at anything between 10 and 20 million, which is about 1 to 2 crores. Congress-led UPA government had put the figure at 12 million or 1.2 crores in Parliament sometime in 2005. The one led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi revised the figure to about 20 million or 2 crores in 2016. Interesting anecdote from my days as a bureau reporter in Ahmedabad. On a day sometime in 2011, I was sitting through a hearing at the Gujarat High Court. Chief Justice S.J. Mukhopadhyay was in chair. Gujarat police had deported 5, mind you, only 5 illegal Bangladeshis. And a team of cops had traveled to Bengal to leave them at the borders with Bangladesh. Some of their family members went to court against the action, and the matter came up before the Chief Justice's bench. Apart from the fact that they had the wherewithal to engage lawyers at the High Court, which is not particularly cheap, what remains with me from that hearing is a query by Justice Mukhopadhyay about how many illegal Bangladeshis could be there in India. The legal officer representing the Gujarat police expressed inability to give an exact figure beyond a guess of anything between 1 to 2 crores. It was the turn of Justice Mukhopadhyay then. Raising his hand and showing his palm, he indicated that in his estimate it could be up to 5 crores. UNHCR, the United Nations High Commissioner on Refugees, claims that they have given refugee documents to about 25,000 Rohingyas in India, while there could be up to 80,000 undocumented ones in the country. Then there's the thumb rule that for each illegal immigrant caught or documented, there could be up to 4 more going unaccounted. That puts the figure for Rohingyas in India at anything between 100,000 to 4 lakhs. Let me help you dig deeper to call the bluff of no illegal migration from Bangladesh argument. Now look at the graphics on your screen with full attention. I'm comparing decadal population growth between districts of India and Bangladesh bordering each other in Bengal. Development blocks in Murshidabad like Raghunath Ganj, Samsher Ganj, Lal Gola and Bhagwan Gola had growth rates ranging from 25 to 37% in the period 2001 to 2011. While districts across the Ganga on Bangladesh side, Rajshahi and Nawabganj, both sharing their boundary with Murshidabad, had population growth of an average of 15